Westlake vinegar fish is a famous traditional dish in Hangzhou. It is famous for its sweet and sour taste, fresh and refreshing fish. It is not only a special food in Hangzhou, but also one of the important representatives of Chinese food culture. The following is an in-depth story of Westlake vinegar fish, revealing the origin, inheritance and cultural connotation of this delicious food. Legend of origin. There is a beautiful legend about the origin of Westlake vinegar fish. It is said that in the Tang dynasty, there was a fisherman named Mrs. Song, who lived by the Westlake in Hangzhou. In the spring of one year, the water level of the Westlake soared and flooded, and the houses and crops of the villagers were submerged in the flood. Mrs. Song is determined to save the villagers from the flood. She caught the fish submerged in the water, cut it open, marinated it with vinegar, and then distributed it to the villagers for consumption. After eating these fish, the villagers found that the acid was sweet and the fish was delicious, which not only quenched thirst and hunger, but also increased their physical strength. So the villagers survived the flood with the help of Mrs. Song, and their lives gradually returned to normal. In order to commemorate Song's kindness, the villagers named this dish Song's fish. Later, this dish gradually evolved into today's Westlake vinegar fish, which became a traditional dish in Hangzhou too. Historical inheritance. The history of Westlake vinegar fish can be traced back to the Song dynasty. At that time, Hangzhou had formed a food culture with vinegar as the seasoning. In Hangzhou in the Song dynasty, because it was located in the south of the Yangtze River and rich in aquatic products, fish became the main food of the locals. At that time, the chefs used the local specialty rice vinegar to marinate the fish and cook it into sweet and sour dishes, which was deeply loved by people. With the passage of time, this dish has gradually evolved into today's Westlake vinegar fish, which has become a special traditional dish in Hangzhou. The production process of Westlake vinegar fish has also been continuously improved in the inheritance of successive chefs, gradually forming a unique cooking style and taste characteristics. 3. Taste characteristics. The taste characteristics of Westlake vinegar fish are mainly reflected in its sweet and sour taste, and the fresh and tender fish. The first is fish. The local grass carp is the main ingredient. The fish is tender, delicate and elastic, which is the key ingredient in making this dish. The second is the seasoning of vinegar, using delicious rice vinegar as the base material, and then with sugar, salt, cooking wine and other seasonings to make a sour and sweet vinegar juice, adding a unique flavor to the whole dish. In addition, there are green onion, ginger, garlic, coriander, etc., which add aroma and taste to the dishes. The combination of these ingredients and cooking technology makes Westlake vinegar fish rich and diverse in taste and unique in flavor. Cultural connotation. Westlake vinegar fish is not only a delicious food, but also carries a rich cultural connotation. In restaurants, banquets and families in Hangzhou, people can taste the authentic Westlake vinegar fish and feel the traditional charm contained in it. This dish represents Hangzhou's unique food culture and is also part of the city's rich and colorful history and culture. The production process of Westlake vinegar fish inherits ancient cooking skills and combines tradition with modernity to present a feast of food and culture for people. Therefore, it is not only a traditional food, but also the inheritance and embodiment of traditional culture. In Hangzhou's daily life, people will also taste Westlake vinegar fish to add interest in life and inherit folk culture. This dish is not only one of the representatives of Hangzhou's food culture, but also carries the cultural emotions and national spirit of the people of Hangzhou. It is an indispensable part of the dietary life of Hangzhou citizens, and it is also a cultural symbol and spiritual symbol of Hangzhou. To sum up, Hangzhou's Westlake vinegar fish is a delicious traditional dish, with a long history and rich cultural connotation. With its unique taste characteristics and production technology, it inherits Hangzhou's food culture tradition and has become a cultural business card of Hangzhou. In the streets and alleys of Hangzhou, people can taste this delicious food and feel the traditional charm contained in it. Westlake vinegar fish not only represents Hangzhou's unique food culture, but also carries the people of Hangzhou's love and inheritance of traditional culture. It is a cultural symbol and spiritual symbol of Hangzhou, which will continue to exude unique charm over time.